So Borussia Dortmund kind of stepped in it. They stepped in it big time. They like cannonballed into one of those. Oh, this is like the 21st century. This is the 21st century equivalent. Of. Actually, I have no idea where I'm going with this. Where am I going with this? It's like the 21st century equivalent of living in 1950s America and saying that you liked some sort of Russian food, and then everybody sort of suspects that you're a communist for a while, and you have to do a lot of things to apologize and disprove that theory. It's the modern equivalent of that. That's what Dortmund has done, right? Because Borussia Dortmund, and I have tried so hard to find this. Not that I was going to show it to you, but I wanted to watch it just so I could talk more educatedly, like in a more educated way about it. I have tried so hard to find this. They made a TikTok that basically starts with this girl. This is an influencer named Jessie Yendel, and she is, talking and then starts to kind of glitch, like stammer, in the same way that I do all the time when I'm making these videos, like you get stuck in a word or whatever, or she had what Dortmund believed to be this kind of funny vocal glitch that then and then like linked up with a song, and then all of a sudden a Dortmund player was just kind of dancing to it. That's the best that I understand that this video encompassed, right? The only problem with that is that Dortmund, I'm assuming, didn't realize that the girl at the start of the video, like the core of this video, has a speech impediment issue and is like somebody with a stutter or a stammer. And so they basically posted a TikTok that got 17 million views. That's kind of highlighting that, right? That's basically like it can be interpreted as making fun of somebody that is stuttering. Now, I fully believe, right, just the way that the modern internet works, that nobody at Dortmund did this on purpose. And when they realized, they probably had a DEFCON 5, like, oh shit, what have we done moment, right? Like the metaphor I was talking about earlier, where you're like, you accidentally like, oh, I like pierogies or whatever. I don't know any Russian food. And you just go, and everybody's just like, what? And then you have to diffuse that situation really aggressively. Dortmund's not even the only like big entity that fell for this. They were probably, somebody had done it elsewhere on the internet that wasn't a big brand. It was I'm assuming a couple of creators on TikTok that were using this clip in a way that obviously if I was somebody with a stutter, I'd be kind of like, hey, what? And then it was the Iron Man. Of all things, right? The thing that you do if you marathons just aren't enough torture for yourself. They also posted a clip that used that. They came out and apologized. They were like, sorry, we thought it was an internet trend. And yeah, that's the only thing that happened here. Dortmund thought it was an internet trend. Iron Man thought it was an internet trend. And that's where the story just kind of continues to go. Because obviously they issued an apology. They took it down, right? They were like, oh, sorry, right? And yeah, you can make an argument that they should have done more research, right? You can make an argument that they should have done more of a look into, well, is this somebody with an actual like speech impediment, or is this just, some funny influencer? I mean, for all we know on the internet, it could have been a sketch, right? It could have been a realistic person that doesn't have a speech impediment, that trips on a word, like, and then that turns into a giant meme, which happens all over the place. It could have been a comedy sketch, right, where they're doing it on purpose, right, and it's part of some character that they're like, I don't know, right? It's the internet. This sort of thing, it sort of thing happens all the time, and then all of a sudden it becomes a meme that just gets posted up everywhere. Or it could have been the situation that it was, which was this Jessie Yendel lady is an influencer that talks and tries to like educate people about speech impediments. Which, if you are Dortmund, I don't think you could have stepped in a bigger pile of shit on accident than that. Now they tried to patch it up. Right, they attempted to apologize, but that didn't work necessarily either. Yeah, she has become quite upset. To be mocked on a public stage like that, I was like, no, thank you. You can keep your football tickets. Yeah, so they offered, as I can find in this Instagram post, They offered her a trip they would fly her to a Champions League game. I don't know if that's the dub that Dortmund thinks it is. I don't know if a speech impediment influencer is going to be particularly interested in flying to the Champions League. I'm just going to offer some free PR advice here. The only way to solve this and not get flamed by this girl, it would be to have members of your social media team fly out and appear in a video with her learning about something. That's the only way you were going to get out of this alive if you're Borussia Dortmund. But now she is very, very upset about it, which I don't know. I feel like I get it in some ways and also I don't. Like if I was her, I probably wouldn't react this way, but also I can't put myself in that position because I don't have a speech impediment. Obviously, I kind of compare it to dyslexia in my mind. I don't know if that's fair, right? If you're born, you have like dyslexia or a speech impediment, you're kind of just born with like an extra challenge you got to get over. And I mean, I do love the movie The King's Speech. I don't know how realistic that is, but it's something that you kind of have to manage, right? Aggressively your entire life. And it's unique to each person and so on and so forth, right? And she's apparently doing a lot of good stuff for people with speech impediments, but she's definitely declared war on Borussia Dortmund as a result of all of this, right? And to see these corporations mock my speech, I just felt in the pit of my stomach, truly humiliated. They sent me a private apology, but the apology is like when you go somewhere and have bad customer service. I didn't even respond to them because I just thought that's not good enough. You haven't shown a true interest to educate yourself, educate your team on speech impediments. Like obviously a part of me, and I feel like we all have this gut reaction, whether we admit it or not, when we're in this situation, no matter who it is that's on the receiving end of this, a part of me is like, they're milking it for clout. And I've read this a couple of times. I've read the quotes the BBC have pulled. What she's saying makes sense. The way she's saying it makes sense. You know, and you're upset because they're not educating your team on speech impediments or whatever. But I think it is unfair to assume that Dortmund was doing anything other than messing up. Right? They thought they were jumping on an internet trend. They had no idea where that internet trend started. Few people do. I mean, how often do you know the origin story of an internet trend? I basically never do. You have to actually be an internet researcher, kind of get to the bottom of it in the first place. Yeah, she said it feels like we're going back in time. I think that's probably overblowing what happened here. But when you make a mistake like this, if you're Borussia Dortmund, this is the price that you have to pay. Because you did kind of just make fun of somebody that has a speech impediment. Oops. But if we're pretending that, you know, giant corporation social media teams are doing anything other than trying to just jump on every viral trend before it becomes not cool to do so that they can get more impressions for their brand, then we're reaching too far in the other direction. And by the way, this like me seeing this headline and wanting to look into it sent me to their TikTok. What is happening? What is happening on what are these social? I'm getting more brain rot looking at massive corporation social media than I do scrolling my own feed. I feel pain looking at this.